What's happening, everybody? Rajay here to take a look at another beer. Going to take a look at one from Warsteiner. This is their special edition Oktoberfest. This one comes in at an ABV of 5.9%. It does adhere to the German purity laws. Warsteiner is, of course, based out of Warsteiner, Germany. This one actually has a best before date of May 21st of 2016. So this is October 2015. A lot of time to sit back and enjoy this one. I actually caught this on a good deal where I got a 6-pack of these for $5.99 at one of my local outlets here in Kentucky. So was happy to see that kind of deal and thought I'd check it out. I've had some of the Warsteiner beers before. They're usually not too bad. I look at them more to the lower end as far as some of the beers. For what you pay, I think you get good value off of them for what you pay on those beers. So I saw this one. Why not give it a shot? Nothing really special about anything else with this one, as you see on the bottle. Label just pretty much basic and generic. So go ahead and get this in a glass. And of course, being Oktoberfest beer means it's a Meyerson beer. Usually the preference is to put it into a stein or a dimpled glass. But I'm going to actually just use a shaker glass that I have right here because I don't feel like going to get my stein or dimpled mug right now. So go ahead and get that in there. And as we can see, actually pours out probably about 3 fingers ahead. So it's got some headiness there. The head itself is a pretty much white head, if barely off of that. Some little bit of rockiness to the head in itself. Put it up to the light. We get a nice golden yellow color on this one. You look at the beer itself, you have some pretty good clarity. You can see right through. No cloudiness at all. Lots of good carbonation also taking place. Not sure if you can see some of the bubble action there, but the carbonation is going very nicely in this glass. So let's go ahead and get an aroma. On the aroma, do get some of the breadiness, some of that malt forwardness that you would expect to have in a Meyerson type beer. A little bit of a sweetness that comes out. The aroma itself isn't as strong. You do have to take a deep inhalation to get some of the flavor out of it. You do get some of that sweetness you would expect to have in a Meyerson. You do have to take a pretty good whiff to get some of the aroma out, though. It's not really strong enough to really come out of the glass, it seems. You have some sweetness in there, kind of that caramel, malty type sweetness, some of that breadiness that you would also expect to have. A little bit of a spice in there as well, but nothing really too over the top or anything along those lines. Nothing to really make it stand out to make it kind of unique in that regard. So let's go ahead and get a taste. Now on the taste, it doesn't list the IBUs, but there is some slight bitterness in place. Slight astringency on the back end. Get that little bit of that puckering sensation. The body itself, I would say it's a light to medium body. You do have a little bit of wateriness that does come into play a little bit. Gets somewhat of a light mouthfeel, but nothing to really make it stand out versus some of the other Oktoberfest beers that I've had. It's kind of a basic type Oktoberfest type beer. I think you look at some of the other versions that we have out over here, that this one is okay in that it's slightly down versus them. I'm not sure what some of the ratings have been given by some of the other sites out there on this beer, but to me, I think it does pale some in comparison. But again, let's look at the value part of it. A 6-pack for $5.99, we're not going in expecting a whole lot. Is it a beer you can sit there and drink and be okay with? Yeah, I think so. I think it's something you can still sit back and enjoy. I would definitely drink this over some of the other more bigger, well-named here in America type macro beers, I think you could just get a 6-pack of this and still just be as relaxed and kick back a little bit. If I was looking for an Oktoberfest beer, would I go and get this one? No, probably not. It wouldn't be one that would make the cut for me. So I think overall, when you look at this one, you do get some of that lacing that you see there too. So it does show the beer is of a good quality. You have a great looking beer. When you look at the clarity, you look at the head, it's lasting around. It's not dissipating too quickly. I think it gets points in that regard. You get the aroma. The aroma is a little bit lacking, but you can get some of that flavor out of it. And I think on the taste is a little bit off for what I would usually prefer with the woodiness and not as much of some of the spices I would usually have with an Oktoberfest or some of the other flavoring, but overall not a bad thing. So I think overall it's a suitable beer that you can sit back and you can enjoy, but it's not one that you're going to actually have to go out and try to hunt and look for. So this is the Warsteiner Oktoberfest. If you've had this one, let me know what you think about it. I'd love to hear some of your comments. Put some comments in the comment section. But you know, it's a value buy. So $5.99 a 6-pack. I'm not going to complain. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and start finishing the rest of these, and hope to check you out on the next video. So make sure you like and subscribe. If you like what you saw, you want to make sure you're up to speed on stuff. Other than that, I say cheers and look forward to seeing you next time.